We are back for our next panel discussion. Okay, the topic is dairy science and technology building resilient dairy manufacturing. So for this panel discussion, I would like to call on stage Dr. Bikas Ghosh, Emeritus, Professor Dairy Technology from NDRI. Can we have a huge round of applause for the gentleman? Mr. Rakesh Matai, GM from Havmor Ice Cream Private Limited. Mr. ABIR MUKHERJEE, CTO, Alpha Milk Food Private Limited. Mr. Hitesh Rathi, Director, Aadvik Foods and Products Private Limited. Last but not the least, our moderator, Mr. Milton Srivastava, Associate Vice President from OSAM Dairy. Now we would be starting our panel discussion. Those stages are yours. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, all delegates and all panel members. It is the sixth session of the group discussion starting. The topic of the session is the dairy science and technology building resilient dairy. Now, what is resilient? Basically, it is the capability of a company to withstand the adversities and bounce back to its normal condition. So that ability of a company is called the resilience of the company, right? So before we start, let us get our panel members introduced. I will request you all to kindly introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Rakesh Matai. I am BTech in Dairy Technology and experience of 22 years, which includes 13 years in Amul, 4 years in Creambell Ice Cream, and right now I am looking after overall plant operation at Havmor Ice Cream at Ahmedabad. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning to you all. Myself is Bikas Ghosh. I am a dairy technologist, BTech, MTech and PhD in dairy technology from NDRI Karnal and as well as from, and then I am working at NDRI, Bangalore. So after completion of my graduation, I am associated with the NDRI from 1981 till I am continuing as an associate, as an emeritus professor, basically the dairy technologist. My field of specialization is cheese and functional dairy foods. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Myself, ABIR MUKHERJEE, and I'm also a data ecologist from my NDRI Karnal. Nice to be in the presence of my seniors, Mr. Srivastava and Dr. Ghosh. I'm associated with the production, planning, and the fabrication at different levels. Presently, I'm working with Alpha Milk Foods as the Chief Technical Officer. That's a brief about me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hitesh Rathi, and I'm the founder of Aadvik Foods and Products Private Limited. So we are India's leading brand dealing in non-bovine milk products. So we make milk powder, cheese, ghee, chocolates, etc. from camel and goat milk. In fact, we are India's first company to introduce camel milk. And my background is not dairy technologist. I am a lot more, I would say, less experienced than all my fellow panelists. I'm glad to be a part of this. Thank you.
Yeah, and lastly, I'm Milton Srivastava, a dairy technologist by profession. I did my BTech Dairy Technology long back in 1980 from NDRI Karnal. I have almost more than 40 years of experience in industry. Currently working with a company called OSAM Dairy, which is situated in Jharkhand. I am their associate vice president. Now, coming to before we get into the discussions, I'd like to just share some of the how our dairy industry is currently working. Like, I have seen things changing in last 40 years. It was very different around 80s, and it's very different now. So I will just try to sum up, I'm trying to give a foundation to the discussion. I'll just try to sum up how things have gone, right? So now, actually, we all know that we are the largest producer of milk, right? We are proud of saying that we are the largest producer of milk, contributing around 22% of the global milk production, right? Now, probably we need to once think, how did we reach here? I think this is one thing which we all as professionals think, how could we excel? How we became a world leader in milk production, right? So I give a lot or maybe major credit to our visionary like Dr. Varghese Kurian and his strong team, which helped us to grow like this. When we talk of this, when we talk of Operation Flood and the Amul pattern and all that, the federations, we think in terms of rural development, we think in terms of quantity of milk, we look it as a business in a dairy sector, the farmers' involvement. One thing we forget to discuss is the quality. Now, when we see how we are the largest producer of milk and also probably the largest market. Now, where lies the challenge? Why we are not the number one? There are some weaknesses in our system where we need to put our efforts to make us, our country, the best dairying country. One thing that comes to my mind is of course, we all know the raw milk quality. The raw milk quality here, if you compare with the developed countries, probably the bacterial count of our pasteurized milk is at par with their raw milk. Now, that is a major challenge. We all know that you can't make an excellent finished product with a substandard raw material. So probably our scientists, our professionals, our technocrats should put their mind together to really think and solve this problem. How can we really improve our raw material quality? I had an opportunity to visit Australia in 1993. And as you know, we all as a dairy persons, we run dairy on fat and SNF. It is whether it is farmers' payment, whether it is standardization of milk, whether it is making any product, fat and SNF. So when I went to Australia, I started talking about fat and SNF. They could not understand what I am talking about. They said, what is this? What are you talking about? So why they said like this is, they're the farmers' payment. I am talking of 3 decades back. Now things must have changed. That time they were paying farmers based on the bacterial count, DMC. No fat and SNF. They used to pay on the bacterial count. And of course, they had the test for the added water in form of cryoscopy, but not every sample. That was a random sampling test. So that much care was there since beginning on the bacterial quality of milk. Here, if I say even the MBRT of raw milk has started around 10 years back. Before that, we are not bothered what is the quality of raw milk. So probably there requires, I think there is a technical intervention required, some improvements required. How can we really monitor, right? The other part is the adulteration. When I was talking of Operation Flood, what they did that they involved farmers directly to the business. So middlemen were eliminated. Now, what is the quality dimension of this? You will all agree that farmers are generally innocent. Farmers do not adulterate milk. They do not know how to adulterate, nor they have that much time. So it is generally done by middleman. So by elimination of middleman, NDDB could eliminate at least one possibility, that is adulteration. Adulteration, that is how the Amul milk and the Mother Dairy milk and the Federation's milk are supposed to be good quality, because middlemen are not there. Even you will see that even in the private sector, those who really want to get quality milk from the village, they are going for farmers' involvement, direct collection from the farmers. So it is a Herculean task, that too when you have to do from your pocket. You know, doing from the government support and doing with your own money, there is a lot of difference. So I will also cover that point in my discussion. Now, coming next, when, since yesterday we have been discussing, there are so many advancement possible, so many technologies have come up. Now, if you look at it from the business angle, I think that is the objective of this panel. As a businessman, when you are looking at these investments, for them initially it is an investment. If you talk of monitoring things, it is an investment. Now, when to do, how to do, that is an important decision to be taken. And how do you take decisions? Through data only. Once you have the enough data, you are able to know if I invest this money here, how much time it will take to give that return on investment to the business. Right. Now, now let us get to this, how our dairying business is different from any other manufacturing industry. Because it is a different kind of business. And it is really a tough situation handling dairy as a business. So, first of all, let us see this. The complexity of supply chain. No, we are connecting thousands of farmers with lakhs of customers. And that to what? A perishable commodity. Now, this is a major challenge for us. We have to connect so many farmers. We collect milk in small. There also, see, our farmers have 1 or maybe 2 cows maximum. In developed countries, they have bulk farming. They have 50 cattle in one shed. So there in their case, the contact surface per unit milk is much lesser than ours. The contaminating surface is less. For us, every cow and we have a pail, we have a hand. So the contaminations are there. So the raw milk quality gets affected. Our challenges are much bigger because of our rearing cattle process itself. And then the cold chain. The cold chain in such a diverse supply chain system, these are the challenges where we need to have monitoring to improve the quality. Now, next is the fluctuating procurement and marketing. All of us are facing this. Suddenly there will be summer season when there will be a lot of demand of milk and milk products. There will be marriage season, there will be festivals, lot of market demands. At that time, less milk will be available from the village. And on the reverse of this, when there is less demand in the market, there will be a lot of milk. Normally, any manufacturing industry, what they do, they procure the raw material as per the requirement of finished product. So that is an easier game. For us, these two are independent parameters. How much the milk will come and how much sales will be there. And you cannot compromise. You cannot ask a farmer, I will take only this much milk. Nor you can tell, you cannot starve the customer, I will not supply the product to you. So you have to, how do we balance this? Now, when we have lot of milk production, we are drying it in form of powder. And using that powder when there is a shortage of milk and more demand. Now, the financial aspect of this, when you are having more milk and you have less market, you are drying it. Now, by drying, what you are doing? You are blocking your capital. You are blocking your capital for a long time. Then when it comes for using, maybe that the market rate of SMP and WMP are gone down and your cost of production is much higher. So there you feel the pinch of loss. Like you are using a powder which is costlier than what is available in the market. So these scenarios, these are the things where we have a lot of challenges in our kind of dairy industry. Then the fluctuating prices of milk and milk commodities, and the prices fluctuates. That is not in your control. And most of the time it happens that the milk price, the purchase price will be higher, going higher, and the selling price will be going down. And since I am from a small dairy factory, we cannot dictate the market. We have to, our MRPs are controlled by AMUL, controlled by the federations. So we cannot charge higher. So these are the challenges that we face. Then narrow margin and high rotation of funds. What happens that generally in dairy we have very narrow margins. At the price at which we are buying from the farmers and at the price at which we are selling, there is a very narrow margin. So there comes the need for monitoring of costs. You know, a little bit of, even if we are losing 5 paisa a kg, it rotates daily, right? So the overall loss is very high. Similarly, it's the other way around also. If you are gaining, then you are gaining very fast. Over here, this gets accumulated very fast because of daily rotation. Then the competitive markets, uneven playing field. I am saying that the farmers are same, right? The customers are same. Who are selling? There are government-sponsored dairies, there are cooperatives, there are, and against that, an entrepreneur using his own money is competing. Now that means he has to pay, if not more, at least at par with the others to the farmers. They cannot charge higher MRP than them. In between, there is hardly any government support. This is all they are doing with their own money. So that is where the requirement of a good monitoring system, real-time monitoring of costs. You know, our company, we have tried in our own way, we have tried to develop a system where we are monitoring the TS on daily basis, like the landed cost of TS, landed cost of total solid to the plant versus the TS realization from the market. So there is a gap. So we try to maintain that gap or maybe improve. Like when I am talking to a salesperson, I will like to push the products where I am getting better realization of milk solids. Different products, you know, when you look at it product-wise, different products gives different realization on the milk solids. Like, for example, paneer. Paneer generally is a losing proposition in most of the places because the TS that you have consumed in form of milk there and the per kg TS that you realize, there is a huge loss there. So unless you start using the whey in some way, people are working on whey drinks. Not now. When I passed out in 1980 from the college, that time also people were doing research on how to utilize whey. But till now, I don't find a real solid solution to this problem. So by talking all this, I will not like to take much time. I will stop here. I will ask my panel members to take over. Now, I will request Dr. Ghosh to please come forward. I will just request you to brief us on your this smart manufacturing technology, right? We do not know much about it. Please brief us what it is and how it is going to help our industry in future. Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Milton. This is the topic which I have been asked to, that how smart manufacturing changing the dairy production. Though I am a dairy technology person, I will try to give us some overview on it. What is smart? Normally, we understand smart person. Smart means little bit intelligent, active, and then promptly act, and then he should do the work very fast. That is the word of smart. So smart manufacturing. So some of these things will be applied on this. Now, based on that, there is two things. What is a traditional technology, traditional manufacturing process, and smart manufacturing process. Now, if we see define the smart manufacturing, this is the use of emerging technologies or advanced technologies to increase the efficiency over the traditional process. Now, for the dairy processing, we know that milk is processed or milk is heated, pasteurized through the heat. Now, the emerging technologies has come. How to overcome this, or what is the changes over this heat processing of the milk? So these changes are, number one changes are the HPP system, application of a high pressure processing system, which is getting a lot of popularity and people are doing, and it has been applied where heat is not applied. Now, similarly, there are other technologies which has also come. There it is the ultrasonic technology. Then ultrasonic technology, afterwards, there is also it has come that pulse field electric field and cold plasma technology, where it is the gas is being used to kill the microorganisms. So these are the different technologies, they are the emerging technologies. But that is the emerging technologies, but defined if we say that smart manufacturing means that the application is different, that we should optimize the manufacturing process by utilizing the IoT, Internet of the Things, computer application, automation, all these technology, artificial intelligence to cut down your cost and maximize your profit or efficiency. What are the little deep if we go, that computer integrated technologies are being used for the manufacturing process, all the dairy manufacturing process, and high levels adaptability. Then digital informations and the more flexible technologies and workforce training. These are the certain areas. And if, in short, if we had to say, that is the call with a big data processing, advanced robotic technologies or approach, 3D printing, and eliminating of the workplace or the inefficiencies and hazards. All these things can be applications of this used for manufacturing. Now, towards the dairy production, if we say, if we know the dairy production, the productivity challenges are the animal health monitoring, lack of quality of the fodder and feed, and limited market accessibility. All these things are the bottleneck. How it can improve? This can be improved by GPS-enabled digital chips, which is normally kept on the ear on the animal, and through which you will get a health advanced informations about the animal health. That is comes under the smart manufacturing technology. Similarly, the IoT, the use of Internet of the Things, that is a precision farming technology from where you can get the data, and based on the huge data, you can improve your production ability. That is another aspect where it is working. So now, another aspect is how best you can utilize these technologies in different areas, particularly for processing sides, as well as also production. Number one technology is the artificial intelligence. Through this, it is enabled to improve the milking environment and minimize the need for the manual labor. you can do it by using the artificial intelligences. It is a new areas for the smart manufacturing process. And through that, you can improve the speedy process and machine calibrations also it can be done. Now, digitalization. You all heard or know that the milking machines, milks are being drawn from the udder of the cow by using the milking machines where the vacuum is used. So digitalization in this process means you need not to apply a human or any labor. Automatically through robotic approach, the tits will be covered or it will be capped into the milk cow's tit. It will be covered and sucked, and automatically it will go through the digitalization concept, through the stainless steel pipe, it will go to the chilling tank. This is the process of digitalizations from where the cow, milk from the udder of the cow, it will go to the chilling tank. Everything is automatic. So there is no human touch or error involved in that. Then predictive analysis also can be used where you will be able to know is there anything going on wrong or what will be the forecasting for next requirement. Then robotic milking. Robotic milking is also, there will be nothing, everything it will be robotic approach where that milk will be drawn from the udder of the tit of these cows. Similarly, there are machines, even I know that in Milky Mist in Europe, they are also using the robotic approach for the paneer manufacturing process. So they produce about 40 tons or more than that, 40 to 50 tons, everything in a robotic approach, though no humans are being involved in that. That is a smart manufacturing process. Even the cattle monitoring drones, that where the cow is going, how it is moving, what is that, whether health condition, everything is possible by monitor by using the drones. The supply chain technology is also possible. Then milking machine, that is small milking machines are also available nowadays where also similar phenomenon is used to draw the milk for the middle or small scale farmers. Blockchain technologies, okay, yeah, anything? Yeah, and then collar technologies. Get back. Yeah, okay, thank you. I will just mention all these things. This is involved in the smart manufacturing technology which can be applied, and many of the industries are not being used for small to middle scale because the cost, it will be very high and technology is a little bit complex. So therefore, only the big industries can use the smart manufacturing process. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ghosh. Now, we shall get back to you with some questions at the last, once we are through with all panels. Now, I shall request Mr. ABIR Mukherjee to please take the dais and tell us something about how the end-to-end traceability and end analysis enhances the results and connect people, system, machines, and supply chains, please. Please, ABIR Mukherjee, please.
Thank you. When we are talking about traceability, traceability mainly concerns to the consumers. This is basically for the satisfaction and the level of ensuring our product is 100% safe for the consumption. It's not just a formality or a document, it's just a commitment. And how we are able to provide that commitment, that is the basic use of this traceability. We are actually working to provide a good product, a safe product to our consumers, and how much we can rely on our systems and how better we can make, and what are the loopholes in that can be ensured by this end-to-end traceability, and that will enhance the results. Basically, it is connecting with the people, and the methodology for this is developing day to day. We are ensuring that what Dr. Ghosh said, that robotics are being used for the monitoring the health of the animal, of the cattle. That is basically for to know that how good their lactation is, their quality is, and what are their food habits, what are their grazing habits. So similarly, what we are doing with the milking systems, how the milk is being produced, how it is being chilled, that is how we are tracing the product. And the more we trace the product, the better we can provide to our consumers the best milk product that can be only achieved by monitoring. And how we are monitoring this is all involved in your smart manufacturing, which we are discussing. So why we are doing that? We are just ensuring that there are no loopholes left. Traceability, we are tracing from the batch back to the animals. The better we can trace, the better it will be. Because still now, India is having more, approximately about 40 to 50% in the unorganized sector. And for a consumer, it's a milk product. And the better we can trace, how we can trace? We can trace back to the systems by monitoring our systems, by plugging out the loopholes, right from our supply chain during our production process or at our procurement process. Procurement is something that is much more on the unorganized sector. When we are talking about the unorganized sector, that involves the farmers, and by ensuring that very small time is being given for milk to transport to the chilling, because we are not in the conditions where like your Europeans or the Australians, where they have a natural climate like that. So we have to ensure that there is no block where the milk is being held up without chilling, that ultimately makes the microflora to grow very high. So these are the few points. I don't think we have much time in that, so we can go on discussing in that. So thank you.
So, thank you, Mr. Aadvik. It was nice information to all of us. Now I get back to our next panelist, Mr. Rakesh Matai. Mr. Matai, we shall request you to kindly guide us on the practical aspects of tracking data through IoT from the plant floor to the top floor. Please guide us on this.
Thank you. Am I audible? So, with respect to this question, let's go discuss the practical situation. In whatever, in our plants, manufacturing, or all the organizations, we have a management review meeting where top management discuss with the functional heads and middle management what was the previous month performance and what was the upcoming month performance. What they discuss actually. They discuss about what is our previous month sales, what was our actual case fill rate for the upcoming month, what is our forecast based on production planning, how many days of stock we have, and then accordingly what will be the possible case fill rate. Then they discuss what are the different cost elements, status, changeovers, machine efficiency, breakdowns, operating rates. Then they discuss status of compliance, safety measures, state of safety. So we all who are sitting here making the data, manual data, make lots of manual data based on the day-to-day registers filled by the manually. Then to justify those data, we make lots of trends, lots of charts, and become very happy to make a 1 or 2 hours presentation and show to the management. And then management asks question, and it is my experience, whatever we present, they listen, they guide, but there is always an element of lack of confidence what we are showing them. Management take fast decision when they have a real-time data, not the data on which we are doing the lots of postmortems and blah, blah, blah. So how this smart manufacturing help this? How this Internet of Things? Now let's assume the case. If you have a finished good where you have a RFID tags, you can have a dashboard where you can see at which location, what stocks you have, what production planning you have, how many days stock is there. If there is any gap, there is a clear signal that, okay, this SKU is a number of days are less, so it is an issue of supply chain, it is an issue of plant operating capacity or some issues. Same in the raw material packing material. There are lots of working capital are involved. And more working capital is always not good because it has own interest in everything. So if you have a RFID tags, you have bin systems where you have a continuous monitoring of data, how the inventory are depleting, how they are adding the inventory, because you have all data in your cloud day to day based on your production planning, based on your sales. These data are going up and down. Accordingly, purchase team get information. Okay, this inventory depleting, we have to take some immediate measures. Management asks how many days of inventory, 15 days of raw material or 20 days of raw material. Because we are talking about just in time, but how many companies in India are in just in time? Because still we are more think about the manual intervention. Because in India, we always think lots of population, बहुत सारे लोग हैं, so we can easily go for the manual operation. Same way with respect to compliance. How many organizations where the management, top management can see कि by gas chromatography, how many batches of adulteration are rejected, on what reason? What is the status of milk scale, day to day, you can say fat of product, and from that, how much are the losses? Same way with respect to lines. If you have a sensors on line, you have a early output, you have a detailed analysis of breakdowns, you have so that you can have a predictive nature of maintenance. You know what is your machine efficiency and how it is impacting productivity. So when that dashboard is there, any manager at any remote location can easily see how their machines are performing, how their third-party operations are performing. Now talk about quality and compliance. If your all way checkers are attached through some network and data is there, you have a simple standard deviation and you can easily get at what sigma level you are. If you all go through do this manually, lots of people you have to put there and do this. And the last and not the least, we discussed about safety. In how many organizations where people are wearing the IoT based bands, where we can see the workers who are working, they are in work in a proper working conditions. They have a, you can say, what is the status of their body, because in many of the plant, still we are not very critical with respect to the employee safety and working conditions. Chalta hai attitude, still we are following at many places. So all this temperature and you can say humidity conditions of plant, these all can, each and everything can be real-time data you can see, status you can see through the induction of IoTs, sensors, artificial intelligence, everything. With respect to supply chain, just simply put your sensors in the trucks. Ice cream is a very sensitive product. If there is any temperature variation, whole product quality goes down. So by this, anyone can get information ki what is the status of trucks, product in the truck. And in fact, the transporter and the driver can get the information that, oh, your AC is failed. So when all these data, real-time data approach to management, they are very quick to take decision. Delay, you can say, if the decision is delayed, it has a cost. And at the end of the day, top line, yesterday in the some panel decision I told, top line is part of sales. But if your bottom line is not there, definitely you are not going to get profits. So if the proper flow of data from with the application of IoT to top management, it will help them to take fast decision, improve the productivity, proper utilization of resources, and it will overall help give the proper growth to the organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matai. It's quite informative. We shall get back to you with questions if time left. Now I shall request Mr. Hitesh Rathi. Mr. Hitesh Rathi is an entrepreneur and he is doing something special. He is working on the camel milk and goat milk. Now his talk will be quite interesting for us. So please take over.
Thank you. I think most of the things are already covered. Thank you. I think most of the things are already covered, and when we are talking about building a resilient dairy manufacturing, so as you said on your presentation that the collection level, the quality of milk at the collection level, if that is not there, so we will not get a good quality product. So we will not be able to compete in any of the export markets, any other areas. So that is, we can have things like, rapid chilling, some IoT-based systems, some somatic cell counts, which many people are not doing. So this can help enhance the quality of the raw milk which goes into the system. Then talking from the traceability from the consumer point of view, Mr. Abhi, he summed it up well, but what I think is that consumer is getting more and more aware of what is going into his body. So, and they demand what kind of product it is, more transparency from the brand owners. So it is very important to be very transparent about where the product is coming from. And there are many companies which are tracing up to primary producer level. So this gives a lot of confidence to the end user. The other thing I would just share example from my experience as a as a startup into this field. So normally dairy is not considered to be a very what to say good area to start any kind of business for starters for the young generations. But the things are changing now. Okay, so I think we all know that dairy in India was only limited up to cows and buffaloes. Like nobody thought about camel and goat, and still people don't consider it as a dairy animal. But we, from our experience, we have we have managed to create a market which was non-existent. So what we feel is that in the times to come, there will be a lot of new products, new areas, new technologies which will come up, and that will there will be an ample opportunities in the years to come. And last thing I would just like to complete my short presentation just by saying this, that startups might not have they might not have the luxury of the resources, but their agility and perseverance can and will create new opportunities. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Rathi, I do agree. It is important is how you do the business, right? Your ethics, your principles plays the role. I have an example, the company in which I am working. See, I have been working since last more than 40 years. I have worked with government, semi-government, cooperatives, many private companies, and lastly I have come to this company where I am working, that is OSAM Dairy. The company's name is HR Food Processing Private Limited. Brand name is OSAM. Now, I find that it's a different kind of company. It is because it has been started by professionals who were working in MNCs, getting a lot of salary. Some friends decided to start a business in dairy. They started with a dairy farm, and now they have around 275 crore turnover in last financial year. They could sustain the pandemic. They improved their efficiency during pandemic. We see many private dairies starting and closing down in 2-3 years. No, there are 2-3 reasons. One is their vision is not very clear, what they want to do. And second is their control systems. Whether they are monitoring on real time where they are going. See, a company can fail, a company can grow because there are external factors working on it. But if an entrepreneur is not aware of the situation and suddenly he decides to close down, so that is the inefficiency. So that is what we are discussing about. An entrepreneur has a lot of positive sides because he is the independent decision maker. He can make instant decisions. He can get things implemented immediately. So there are positive sides of it. But the vision, the objectives should be very clear. The controls should be strong, daily basis monitoring on profitability. As I was telling, we have developed a system where TS realization we are monitoring on daily basis. कि हमने जो खरीद के लाया गांव से, तो हमारा landed cost per kg milk solid कितना था, और हमने जो सेल किया उस दिन, तो हमारा per kg TS realization कितना आया, what is the gap? That thing we are monitoring every day at 10 o'clock morning for the previous day. So if there is any abnormality, we are able to know where the problem is. We get into that and try to solve. We try to sell those products which has better TS realization. better cost realization of TS. So there are controls, but important is whether we are looking at it. If you look at it once in a month, you are, by the time you know the problem, you are already in trouble. So that is one of the major reasons which I feel that some of the private small dairies fail, because they hardly have any monitoring. Now we have just 1 minute time left. I request Dr. Ghosh to just answer one question of ours. Sir, what are the benefits of using smart manufacturing technologies in dairy processing industries, sir?
Yeah, the main benefits of the processing industries is that first of all, this improved efficiency. There's the increased productivity. Then this is a long time, actually the cost saving. And then through the artificial intelligence, it is easy to know us about the possibilities of prediction. What is the tomorrow's demand or tomorrow's requirement? That is another thing. Through the sensor applications, we can get a signals if in the processing line, if anything is wrong or anything is quality control wise or anything process is omitting. These are some of these benefits. And then the machines, when the problem comes, immediately you will get a signal to rectify about that. So there will be less chances of the quality assurance problem. All these things can be taken care of by the Internet of Things. That is. But the main, these are the advantage, or you can say the benefits. But demerits, as I mentioned earlier also, it is a very cost-effective and very complex. If it is poorly installed, then you will be getting a lot of problem out of it. So these are the things normally to be considered for applications of the manufacturing, smart manufacturing approaches. Benefits are also there. Similarly, some disadvantages also there. If you are correctly utilizing, then it is no doubt it is good, but it is a very complex and cost effective. It will require the high cost. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ghosh. Now with this we come to the end of the session since the time does not permit anymore. So thank you very much for listening patiently to us. I'm sorry I could not take up the question answer session from the you people. I'm sorry, there was a shortage of time. Right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much to all the panel members. Can we have a huge round of applause for all the panel members? Okay, so with this, I would like to call on stage to facilitate all the panel members. So I want everybody out here, please put your hands together for Mr. Suresh Garg, Chairman and Managing Director of Zion Life Sciences Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Suresh Garg? Okay, the first panel member is Dr. Bikas Ghosh. Mr. Rakesh Matai. Mr. ABIR MUKHERJEE. Mr. Hitesh Rathi. Last but not the least, Mr. Milton Srivastava. Let's give them a huge round of applause for all the panel members and especially to our moderator. Everyone, can we have a huge round of applause?